My name is Vafli Kamara. Minister, I'd like to say good morning and welcome to the Super Morning Show. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you at this very critical time of national development.
Good morning, Vafli, and it's always good to be back. And to your colleagues in the press, my greetings to your boss, DG Eugene Fagon, Eugene Lamy Fagon,
Yeah.
and the deputy DGs and the senior management, and you all that are keeping the fort, doing a good job expanding services. We are very proud of what you guys are doing, and we continue to be supportive of the effort.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. So I began by, stating how we will segment this discussion. But based on realities, Minister, based on prevailing realities, and based on your data in terms of development, um, the economic issues, is today better off than yesterday?
Thank you very much, Ovani. Well, there are a lot of indicators, and for today, I don't want to be so sophisticated to talk hard tech economics. We need to address the issue in more what I call simple terms.
Mm.
And this is not an attempt to demean anybody, but this is an attempt to project the reality. Although some will want us to believe that we are retrogressing, but contrary to their narrative, we are actually progressing. And let me say this. On Wednesday, there was a program here in River G.
You mean last Wednesday?
No, yeah, last Wednesday.
Okay.
Last Wednesday. And I was invited, but I couldn't attend based on my very busy schedule. I sent my assistant minister for economic affairs, Henry Nyakwe, to represent me. And he went to Fishtown. I expected Nyakwe, back at the ministry on Friday. But I was surprised that on Thursday, a meeting we're having, Nyakwe bumps into the meeting before 4 p.m. And he came from Fishtown. He had left just about 5 a.m. in the morning. Now, if people don't know that there is progress from Fishtown to Monrovia to our meeting at the Ministry of Finance on the 10th floor, then we need to find a better definition of progress, especially when yesterday people on the same lane, on the same route, they were taking days, and sometimes they will go through Cote d'Ivoire. If you hear Senator Joe Peno, don't hear me. Hear Senator Joe Peno. Listen to Senator Yaya Nimle testify about what that road has done, the time. One of the things that affects the economy is high prices. We have the rural areas being places of agricultural production, but because of bad road connectivity, areas that are rich in production do not connect to markets. If roads are done, the marketers, the agriculturalists and others bring their goods and services to market quicker. Inflation has started tapering down. In fact, the latest for July was 7.14% or so. I was talking to the central bank governor the last time. One of the reasons is that domestic food inflation has dropped. because as we speak, the country is connected. Buses can move from here, NTS buses, in the height of the rainy season, drive to Vonjama and drive to Hapa, low price. If people don't recognize that as progress, then they have a definition of progress. Let's move from that. Electricity. Electricity supply is getting more stable.
You're making reference to what you've normally called constraints, addressing constraints or challenges to growth.
Yes. In our economy, there are two main constraints. Access to finance is another, but the two main teething constraints to growth: lack of infrastructure, especially rural infrastructure, and supply of power. One of the things that eats into the profit of businesses is the high cost of power. When they spend so much money to keep the lights on, it affects business profitability and it makes it difficult for them to expand. You see us emphasizing power expansion. In fact, we are one of 12 countries chosen by the World Bank and the African Development Bank to develop an energy compact. We have a Liberia energy compact. President Walker led the team. I was part of that delegation to Dar es Salaam this January to go and join other leaders of Africa to talk energy, and the Liberian Energy Compact was presented. In fact, in our discussion, our Liberian room discussion, you saw no less than the World Bank President Ajay Banga, and the ADB President now, he's just left, Dr. Adesina, in the Liberian room. We're talking energy. Why is the grand design? To increase energy supply, access to electricity now, from about 33% to 75% in 5 years. And we are on course. That's why there's going to rainy season, there's going to dry season. Everyone was in Monrovia. You saw more stable electricity. More communities are being supplied with electricity. If that is not progress, let them tell you why it's progress. Now, at the level of the port, night operation has started. Yes, we're waiting for a 24-hour port service, but at least the last time I was driving from work around 10:30, I saw containers leaving the port. It tells you throughput is increasing. What are those things in the container? Things that will be sold. Things are being sold. In the night, there is light in the street. People are in Monrovia selling longer hours help. Their businesses, you can get first shift, second shift. Now, water supply has increased. It's been a long time since I saw muscle men toting containers climbing the Johnson Street Hill. Whether you saw them or let they tell me, that site, I remember that site. It's been a long time since I saw people with containers at gas stations because price of gasoline has been down and supply has been stable. There's been no shortage in almost 2 years. The price of rice down, stable. I was out of the country. One site that I remember it vividly, is a site of our women, our mothers. Site
that happened this administration.
Or no. You're talking about the past. Okay. You just stop posting the past and the present.
Okay.
One site that I cannot forget. Mothers climbing fences, I think Valtown or what have you, to go and try to not to go and beg for rice. They were looking for rice to go and sell. Now, for almost 2 years, that has not happened. Stable supply, prices low. If someone does not recognize that progress, then their definition of progress is warped. Civil servants civil servants. By and large, we've said we pay civil servants on time. And more often than not, except there are challenges in it with the banks crediting some accounts. But see what is happening. We have normalized payment of civil servants such that even if there is 1 day delay, I like the anger that comes. We have it, pay has delayed. When you talk about month and sometimes more than that, and people are not complaining. You know, when you have put excellent standards, people will hold you to excellence. You know, some of us and some folks here, when you say that you are an A student, sometimes when the test is tough, when you score B or C plus, you will be complaining. If people listen to your complaint, they will be confused because in the same test, people are scoring F's and D's. When an A student who will score 79 will be angry. So some of the anger that we show ourselves, the fact that we fail, is because we're holding ourselves to high standards. The president holding all of us to high standards. So by and large, we could go on many other indicators of progress. I can tell you this. Talk about civil servants.
Yeah, I want to ask about the currency of civil servant salaries.
It's current. It's current. We pay largely on time. We in July we pay around the 15 or I think around the 15. Before the 18th, before the 20th, we have paid almost everybody. We have paid everybody. August, we pay on time. There were 1 or 2 challenges with banks crediting, and that's why we solve it. Now, we are digitizing the economy. The central bank, we're working with them, introducing the payment switch, and that will improve the efficiency of the entire economy. I was talking about, you're talking about yesterday and today. At least we know that today, since we have not credited to pay civil servants, we have not.
Did it happen yesterday?
Yesterday, government credited to pay civil servants for the month of, I think, for 2 months.
In the tune of how much?
The total credit, 83 million US dollars. You heard about that. Part of it was to pay civil servants for the 2 months. But in this year's budget, we have 16 million budgeted to start to pay back.
The 83 million.
The 83 million. So in a sense, this government is paying the salary for December 2023 and December 2022 or 2020, November 2023, while we are dealing with this year's burden. And let me say this, we don't say it loudly. We increased the pay of government workers, more than 28,000 workers in this year's budget. You know, the pay of people were tough off, whether the police, the army, and others. In fact, the police officers were being made to pay for their insurance. In this year's budget, we said no police officer will pay their own insurance. And go and ask. And let me say this: at the judiciary, whether it is at the level of the bench, Supreme Court bench, and judges, and many of the folks there, we have reversed, almost practically reversed, because they suffer steeply cuts due to harmonization. Their pay has been restored to pre-harmonization levels, and we're doing more. In other branches of government, in other integrated institutions, the medical workers. So we don't come every day to be talking these things because we are fixated on working and doing more. But if you're trying to juxtapose and contradistinguish between today and yesterday, today, we don't say, let me say this, we don't say we are in utopia, but we are not in dystopia. We have not reached heaven. We cannot reach heaven. But for people to make it, to go and just what I call suffuse the atmosphere, put so much spoonful of negativity and make it to look like Liberia is progressing. It's wrong because your
You mean
audience,
regressing?
or regressing rather. Thank you for the correction. Liberia is regressing or retrogressing. It's wrong because there are a lot of indicators of progress. And when you give this what view of progress and say that everything is went by this or here or where, maybe you're on a different planet. We still recognize that there are challenges. That's why we are putting our shoulders to the wheel to continue to work. We will not rest on our hours. We will continue to sprint to make sure that every day, as I told you the last time, we can assure you that tomorrow will be better than today, as today is better than yesterday. Day after tomorrow will be better than tomorrow. We are on a path of progression, and there's no turning back.
Should it be a moral responsibility for those who benefit in what is civil servants increments? Should they come public to bear witness?
Funny.
Should that be a moral responsibility?
I think nurses CB Tomba celebrating. That was on Facebook. But I understand why people who's benefited from salary increases will not announce it for obvious reasons. Maybe they don't want the pressure to come on them. Valve, we're looking at increment of salary generally. If we increase salary, assuming, I don't know, maybe you will not do it. You'll go and declare, you'll do an open declaration. If we increase the salary, put maybe $1,000 on, the probability is that Valve will not want to make it, public. And we respect your privacy. Let me give you something. You didn't ask that question. People will go and say, we pay below the minimum wage. I saw someone's salary $70. How do you guys say, the minimum wage is $150? Yes, the minimum wage is $150. In fact, no one on the civil service, on the central government payroll makes below the minimum wage of $150 as mandated by the Decent Work Act. And President Boyka said, all those individuals that have not, reached that point, this year's budget, they are. But people forget to know that it's gross. The gross is taxable when the tax is taken, and maybe Social Security, maybe based on where they work, they have insurance, maybe based on their own reputation with the banks, they could take loan. So what we do after those deductions, especially the income tax, Social Security, the balance we bifurcate it. We pay in two currencies. Liberia runs a dual currency regime, Liberian dollars and US dollars. So 70% of the pay is in US dollars. 30% is in Liberian dollars. Some conveniently, when I ask them for their pay, they volunteer one and make it to assume that they don't get the other. I go and be telling every day coming to EFBC and say, no, that's private issue. So people don't, the inclination to declare salary is low for obvious reasons and will not push them. But more than 28,000 persons in this budget benefited from salary top-ups.
What about volunteer teachers being placed on central government payroll?
Yes, I think the Education Ministry has placed more than 100, more than I think 1,000 of them already, and we budgeted for that. We have MCSS. You know what happened? There was a runaway situation where volunteer teachers, I think, grew from about 100 persons to about 700 in no time. There's been vetting done. This year, we're starting the process. We're giving some money to the MCSS to start those that have been vetted. We will start the migration of those volunteers on the payroll. Yeah. We may not do all this year, but we have started, and we're going to start this year.
Minister, can you tell us that you've reversed 100% the harmonization policy of the last administration?
No. Finance ministry employees were affected. We haven't. I don't feel good that we haven't had a fiscal space. People working all the time. We have not. Employees across the general government, many other places, but we targeted health.
Okay.
We targeted police. We targeted the judiciary. We targeted EPS. We targeted the army for top ups. So in this new budget, we're looking at the fiscal space. We intend to do more. We'll be doing it, graduating it, and at expanding people into. So we are not talking about. We can't say that by a goal we'll be able to reverse everything, but as the fiscal space allows, we will do more. Yeah.
Let's talk about, I mean, the 83 million you said the last administration credited to pay civil servant salaries for 2 months, 2023, November and December. Do we have something in the budget to pay that? How much is that, and how long are you going to take to clear that debt?
Every year we're going to be budgeting about 16 million. Okay. So this year, 16 million.
So imagine that money was not credited.
Imagine that. Some of these civil servants.
I'm asking, what are you going to do with that?
Maybe we would have. I told you that we did 28. The entire civil service more than 60. So think about the number of persons that would have benefited. Think about we reversed practically in the judiciary with the higher ups. We could have reversed more. So we dealing with the past while we're dealing with the challenges of the present and preparing for the future. Yeah.
Let's talk the TCAT, the recent TCAT. I know there were some engagements. We still own what is to come from these conferences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been in multiple conferences in my state government. I recall, I think it was 2013. There was a TCAT held in Yokohama. President Salif headed the delegation. I was Minister of Foreign Affairs, and we met the late now Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and we talked Somalia Drive. And that was some commitment, that was some talk. We followed up, and later I signed the first grant agreement for that role. Later, when I left, my successor, Ambassador Majon Kamara, signed, and then it went on and on. The role is completed. These things, when you hear these trips help to solidify good impression, good plans, and these things mature. So I understand people say, "Oh, what is there's an impression that when a president travels or the minister travels, you need to come with a top load of money on your head." That's not how it's done. These are engagements, and I can tell you I was part of great meetings. President Boka was the first leader to have been met by the Prime Minister of Japan when he started meeting presidents, and he also met the head of JICA. Interestingly, the current head of JICA was at JICA before. He understands Liberia. He was in the meeting in the 2013 Yokohama meeting, and so there's going to be, the first thing is that, this commitment they are recommitted that the road, the expansion up to the Gibraltar Corporation will soon start.
Okay.
And we're talking cooperation in infrastructure, health, especially JFK, the Japanese, what they did with the maternity. There are plans for them to improve that. And the foreign ministry folks will give you more. But let me say this. When we go to these meetings, we do a lot of sideline meetings. One of the meetings we had that was very productive was a meeting with the World Bank team. I coordinated the coordinated meeting. The foreign minister was there, and Minister of Education, Agriculture, and others, Mines and Energy. We talked about the World Bank program. The World Bank has a current portfolio in Liberia now of almost $1 billion. And they're going to be in the new World Bank country program framework that we just concluded. We're emphasizing tourism. We're emphasizing, decreasing what we call learning poverty, agriculture. The World Bank will include Liberia. They're going to launch something in agriculture, equivalent to what the World Bank and the African Development Bank did with energy, with Energy Compass. They're going to launch something called Agri Connect. Usually they do this big launching on the sidelines of the annual meetings of the World Bank and the IMF, which comes up in October. Liberia is going to be included. The other thing is to increase support to agribusiness and to make sure that the infrastructure that agriculture needs to succeed, is given. So there's going to be some support there. We also talked with the managing director of the IFC, Mr. Makta Diop. He led the World Bank delegation in the meeting. In the meeting was the vice president of the World Bank. The IFC is the private sector entity of the World Bank. They've committed to increasing their investment, their portfolio in Liberia. Private sector entities in Liberia are going to benefit. Now, the interesting thing is that they've told us that they're going to be, it's not just giving loans or some facilities. They want to be taking equity in business. So we're going to be linking them to business opportunities here. And now, sooner than later, we're going to conclude something. Something has been in the works. A company that is coming for renewable energy. It's called SCATEX, supported by IFC. Will soon launch its operation. It's going to give us 20 megawatts of additional power. So power will expand. It's all part of our strategy. So I could go on. We met the Afri-Exim Bank. Afri-Exim Bank is a bank that gives support. It is one of the banks that is funding this ELWA, our highway. Our obligation to them through East International more than almost 60 million. This government has to pay. We have to restructure and get ourselves in a better boat to get more financing from Afri-Exim for other infrastructure projects. I could go on and on. And so it was hectic, and I came from there knowing fully well that as we work on these things, they get actualized, our country will benefit hugely. But it's just me. The agriculture minister can come and give you all that he did. What was happening is that many of us were in our private lanes. As finance minister, I was engaging. Minister of Education engaging. Every other person was engaging. I'm just giving you my side of the story.
Minister, any updates from the MCC compact?
Yes, thank you for that. The MCC informed us through a communication written to me by the IT Africa Director, Mr. Jason Small, that the decision on Liberia's eligibility, Liberia was declared eligible before in December 2024. Then there was a transition in government, U.S. government. And the first thing that happened, you all know about it, was the cancellation, scrapping of usage. As we speak, out of 29 projects, only 5 usage projects, or only 5 projects on a new modality that were being funded by usage are still ongoing. Many persons expected that the sky will have collapsed on us because USAID is, by that time, was Liberia's second largest donor, next to the World Bank. USAID was the principal donor in health and education. and to some extent agriculture. But we've managed, I told you before, that we face turbulence. But good pilots will sail the aircraft to destination in spite of turbulence. So it's been bumpy, but we have largely kept ourselves on course. So MCC was not cancelled like you said. It was put on pause for review by the State Department under Secretary Rubio. And so they've been doing review. I can tell you that many countries' compact operation or engagement in MCC have been cancelled. Liberia's eligibility is still under consideration. They told us that by December, the board of MCC will meet. Now, last Wednesday, I had a 1 hour Zoom discussion, me and my team, with the MCC folks, the authorities. They've decided on the 22nd of this month, September, MCC is feeding a team to Liberia, a team of officials and economists. Some of them will be here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They are going to do, they're working with our team of economists. They're going to meet many folks in government and out of government. They are going to put together to identify sectors that can benefit from possible MCC support or quick uh, growth factors constant. And giving a positive engagement, not only with what we do with MCC indicators, but a lot of other factors. We hope that when the country's case is placed at the board, Liberia will be declared, Liberia's eligibility will be reaffirmed. And when Liberia's eligibility is reaffirmed, then it will be the time that the MCC would tell us what amount under this new government we will benefit from. For now, we don't have a figure. It will be higher than 500 million. It will be lower than that. Based on what Congress will approve for MCC under the new administration, we will get something if we get approved. But here is it. Think about what the first grant of MCC did for this country. 257 million. Most of the power we benefit from now as a country comes from man coffee. MCC support also affected infrastructure, water, and other areas. So for us, whatever amount of support will help us in some sectors, and we are waiting for the team. And my team at the Ministry of Finance is prepared. There's exchange of information to ease the team. We are working along with the American Embassy here. The Charge Affair paid me a visit 2 weeks ago. We all are excited about the coming of the team, and we see how it goes.
That the MCC team is coming, is that a glimmer of hope, given that most Liberians want to see Liberia having a compact, because the enormity of the challenges require those kinds of money to solve some of the problems given our limited fiscal space. Because, and some argue that if Liberia was not under serious consideration, there would be no need to send a team to access our capabilities.
We are indeed under serious consideration. That's why our team has come. MCC, many countries, they've given up on MCC because they're not even under consideration. Many other countries, no MCC team is visiting them. So we remain cautiously positive. We know that we have work to do, and we do the work. And it will not be that we haven't worked. It's not only the Ministry of Finance, all the sector ministries are working together to ensure that we get the support we need.
Minister, let me bring your attention to the University of Liberia case. It is a very serious matter. I have obtained a letter written by the president of the University of Liberia, Madam Lady Mapaya, to the Senate Committee Chair on Education, Senator Nathaniel McGill, and I'm going to read this letter. I don't know if you obtained that, but it says here, uh, the letter was written September 5, 2025. Honorable Nathaniel F. McGill, Chairman, Senate Committee on Education, the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia. Subject request for immediate funding, approval to address adjunct faculty salary arrears and jumpstart bathroom renovations. The president of UL went on to say, Dear Honorable McGill, I present my compliments and extend sincere appreciation for your continued support to the University of Liberia in its pursuit of academic excellence and institutional sustainability. I write to respectfully, now this is, I want you to take note of this. She said, I write to respectfully request your urgent intervention and approval of funding in the amount of 550,000 US dollars to enable the University of Liberia settle critical salary arrears owed to its adjunct faculty for semester 1 of academic year 2024-2025. This amount, according to her, also represents a partial settlement in the amount of 199,000 of the total arrears accumulated during the recently concluded vacation school semester, and it's essential to allow the University of Liberia resume semester 2 this semester of academic year 2024-2025 without further disruption. It also includes funding of 100,000 to jumpstart the long-awaited and urgent bathroom renovations activity. Minister, is the University of Liberia finding it difficult to get the allotment? And if so, why is the university finding it difficult?
Before I launch into answering your question, let me tell you my multiple links with the university. I was a student leader, elected student leader at the university. Uh, that's one link. Secondly, I was a lecturer at the university. You know, well, when I became finance minister, it was so difficult for me to continue. I have many of my students around; they can testify. Also, I was secretary of the board of the university from 2006 to 2019. So when you talk about university, I have multiple
Are
links.
you insinuating that the university is dear to your heart?
More than dear to my heart.
Then why are they finding it difficult
With
on
your
your
horses,
stewardship?
with your horses. Let me be clear, and people listen well. The university's budget now, or last year,
Mm.
contrary to insinuations that were put out by folks who wouldn't even attempt to ask, the university got almost 100% of their budget. The university budget was, I think,
Last budget,
last year, 2024.
2024
Last year,
budget.
you heard, oh, we deprived the university. The university budget was about, what the legislature approved for last year was, sorry, I think, you know,
No, but you
33, it was 33, yes, it was 33.7.
33.7 for
Yes,
2024.
yeah,
This
20,
budget is what?
yeah, it's about 34 million.
Okay.
Now,
So
last
there
year's
was an
budget,
increment.
last year's budget, only 16,000 of the university budget that the university didn't get. 16,000 in budget that the university didn't get. senators because they thought that the university's budget was not being given to them. And so that was a wrong impression given to the Senate. But in fact, I will forgive, the new president is in transition. To write the Senate Standing Committee head asking for approval of immediate allocation to the university, that's not a responsibility of it.
So was the letter misdirected?
Well, that's your terminology.
Should that letter be written to
But let me tell you what happened, which makes what that letter. I don't want to tell you how we feel at the Ministry of Finance. We engaged the university. We agreed that we'll meet the senior management of the university during the weekend, even before offer lay down their charts. We had agreed. So we met the university, the president and her vice presidents, acting vice president for fiscal affairs. That's the thing with that. The vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Engley Reeves, and I think vice president for administration, Bennett Otta. The Ministry of Finance.
That was before this letter was
before written? This letter was written.
Okay.
5 hours talking university. I should have gone to a funeral of one of my staffers. I did not. My Saturday, I invested my Saturday to the university. We talked. And we are not too happy with some things at the university. I'm going to take some things. We're going to take some hard measures. In fact, we are going to re-verify this. We are going to re-verify everyone on the university payroll for the month of September. We pay, of the 34 million we pay as a government, 32 million goes for salaries. And some actions that should have been taken earlier to sanitize that payroll system have been delayed. And we were ensured that there will be no delay, because it is one thing to ask for more, it's another thing to use what you have well. We after the meeting, we committed. We are knocking on not only government doors, external partners. We are meeting them, and I even told them some of the things we're going to do for the university beyond just what government can do. And then the issue about extra money, and there is it. Extra money to any government entity is something that you guys in the press love to call off budget. I see your front page, off budget, and they make it to look like it's a crime. This university crisis is going to highlight something, because we'll transition into the GAC report, right? Okay. Any extra money that was not budgeted that you were asking for, is off budget. So those that don't understand off budget, this university request is off budget.
You mean the 250,000?
No, it's 500,000.
The 550,000.
Yes, it's off budget. It's beyond their budget. So it is not. They're not asking for. It's not an issue of.
But have they exhausted their budget?
No, they don't have to exhaust their budget, because most of the budget goes to salaries and other things. University. Let me say this: the government subsidy is not the only source of funding to the university. University collect fees and other things. So they determine what to do with it. So the government's budget, the government funding to the university is a subset of the university budget. And we're going to be getting into many other things. But I just want to say, so this request is off budget. And interestingly, the legislature is on break. This request, given the pressure, if we approve it, it will also be without legislative approval. Think about it now. Off budget without legislative approval. I made headlines. My good guys here, they had my picture, they saw, right? They had my picture and you guys should give me some royalties for the extra money you guys got. You know, our budget. That one stole. Okay. And now we're talking university. You all want me and somebody who has been giving people a spoonful of negativity, you know, calling me names. Last year, off budget. He was yelling, off budget, off budget, off budget. Then this year he's talking, oh, that one guy ever university. He's a heartless man. Also, you want now today that I should do the off budget thing. You want me to do the off budget, right? Now you understand off budget? If you don't understand this thing here, if you don't understand, do not call good characters, label good characters as criminals because of your lack of understanding. Sad. Now we have an urgent situation. What do we do? Now I could go and say, somebody in the press will call me, you know, an off-budget spender. Someone will say, you know, I gave money to the university without legislative approval. That's a crime. Wait, just let me just. So now I'm having an engagement with everybody. We are in the process of giving the university money, off-budget money, and we are in the process of giving the university money without legislative approval. Why? Senator McGay is not the legislature. That committee is not the legislature. The legislature comes, the two houses. The legislature takes decision in session. So whatever engagement with a house does not suffice as a legislature. So when
that you've been summoned, you should be appearing on Tuesday. So aren't these challenges appealing for this money to be made available?
No. This thing, you want 500 million, 550. So then you give us the difficult burden of saying, where do we find the money? We go all around cutting. We cut this, cut institutions. Should we cut LBS to give to the university? Should we? You know how difficult it is, right? Because everyone wants more. The total extra request on the budget beyond budgeted appropriation is about 63 million. Can we fund that? No. So it's not a thing to say when you ask for money today, especially not in your budget, we'll give it to you today. So we requested, and this is where many persons at the Ministry of Finance feel very angered. They are angry because we requested from the university, send us a letter for the extra money. And indeed,
did you get one?
Yes.
Okay.
Dated September 1.
That was before this communication.
Before this communication.
Because this communication is September 5.
Yes.
So
before this communication.
Are you frustrated in the fact that the UL president was not patient?
Well, you know, I stay, you know, there are transitional challenges when a new person comes in. So I will not use some of those big terminology you're using.
I mean, but
you know,
allowance
for transition. I call it allowance for transition. So she wrote me on the 1st of September. We immediately put it in our system. It's a process, especially when you're asking for extra money that is not in your budget. We have to scour here and there, and then go to what we call budget management committee. We've been in this process. The university, none of them follow up. The president didn't follow up. They didn't follow up with us. My people, by Friday, they had told me that they have now finally identified sources that we can use. You know, by today or so, the university will get the money. But take this.
The money is available.
But by today, the processes of giving the university will be consummated.
Okay.
And then let me take this. So, but you know what we're doing? We're taking rates. We engage in off budget. We engage in no legislation. So all my journalist friends here that have been pushing the university. So you've been pushing me to do off budget spending and expenditure of legislative approval. But let me tell you this, the legislature knows. That's why we gave them report. The legislature goes on breaks. In the report we send to the legislature, we report there are certain urgencies that we cannot wait. Like the last time, some of you guys are sport lovers. You have a Lone Star. And Loon Star went, I think, is it Tunisia?
Yeah.
Yeah. 400,000. You know, and they always say that I love his name, you know. So I've been doing and so the field court they deploy him at the ministry. So I saw my man, and why are you here? Don't start. We need 400,000. Is that your budget? No. No. And then everybody, the government cannot fund Lone Star, blah, blah, blah. Off budget. Should we sit and Lone Star don't go? Off budget. Should we wait for the legislature to come in October? Can we do that? Can we do that? So, you know, I told my folks, and I would launch it with, especially for reporters on economic affairs. We feel obligated to doing capacity building, understanding the budget process, understanding basic financial matters. Then you report from an informed perspective. That we're going to do.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. We give capacity so that people understand certain matters.
Okay. In summary, today is better than yesterday.
Definitely. Definitely. In a lot of respects. In a lot of respects. You know, it doesn't mean, you know, for everybody. I mean, some folks, they could have more challenged circumstances. Some of it is that opportunities will be afforded to everybody. And on average, generally, that is the case.
Okay, you're listening to the Super Morning Show on 99.9 ELBC, relayed on a couple of radio stations, including OKFM, Prime FM, Joy FM, Prime FM as well, Punch FM, Sky FM, and a couple of online, including Front Page, Vision, Verity, and all that. Anyway, let's come. You want us to take break, Minister?
No, let's go.
Let's come according to the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
The report, the GAC report.
Yeah.
Before I come to the specific highlights in the report that talks about the 2.8 million that the General Auditing Commission didn't see adequate documentation to validate expenditure and all that. Talk us through you've been there, you've been confronted with GAC reports in your first stint, whether it's at the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Finance or Foreign Affairs. You've been confronted with other reports. Talk us through the process of coming in contact with these reports and how they are received and how you act upon them.
Well, let me say that when I was in graduate school, I took extra courses in auditing. Extra courses, although I didn't go for certification. I was busy. I came back to the central bank. So one of my other colleagues that we took the extra courses when I became a CPA.
Mm.
But so when I came back and I became a lecturer at the university, I was teaching auditing, really, 400 level auditing. Some of the folks at the GAC were taught by me. So give me a chance, let me explain certain things. And I'll be a little bit professorial here on that. Because there is a basic misunderstanding about auditing in this country. But before that, I will say this. You know, I supported President Barker and the rescue mission. Although I was out of the country, but, in my own ways, I was supporting. And people expected that during the formation of the government, I would take up a position. I was offered, but I said, I don't want it. And some people were surprised. I turned down all the offers that the president gave me. He too was not too happy with that. I went back. And wish my country well, I always do. When the president called me to return, you know, I was put on the horns of a dilemma. My country needed me. Yes, I was in better circumstances, income-wise, benefit-wise, you know, and we're preparing to go to another country. So what could I have done? You know, and folks will call me, please come, please take up the offer. And I hesitated. One of the reasons I hesitated was this. Should I come back to the country where I will work myself from in the morning to sometimes 12 p.m.? My mother will call me for days, she cannot get me, working for my country, honestly, diligently. And some people, because of their, you know, their venom or their misunderstanding, some of them will sit in one corner calling you criminal, some with criminal credentials. It's very painful. So I said, should I come back? But you know the reason why I decided to accept? Because as this issue was coming, should he take the job here and there? There were talk shows going around this country. And something moved me. A friend of mine works in Rangia, and he listened to a local talk show. Almost 90% of the people said he should come back. And I said to myself, I'm coming back for those people. And talk shows were all around. That, in spite of this distraction, I am coming to use whatever God has given me, working with colleagues under the guidance of the president, to help to develop this country. When I was Minister of Finance, it was under me that the Fishtown Harbour Highway started. And the ADB folks, the guys that started it, you know, when I was with them, they even reminded me, the other guy brought a picture that they took with me at the Ministry of Finance. So I look at what we can do to make sure that in few years, under President Buckeye, as we were saying, that the road will move from here to Harper. That's what brought me here. I started the Banga Menikoma Highway. I went to Kuwait when we had achieved 4.6 billion debt cancellation. Met the Kuwaitis. Which project? I put forth that project under the instruction of the president and former vice president then and now president. We got the first 2.8 million for the feasibility study. That road hasn't been completed. What brought me here is to make sure that Banga Menikoma Highway is completed. I could go on. When I say the ministerial complex that we all go to, I signed the agreement with the Chinese, the Chinese ambassador, President Salim is behind, $60 million grant for that facility. Monrovia, Buchanan, with the World Bank, Monrovia, Banga, to the Guinea border. And I know, working with police, what we can do more. And the common people want that. That's why I came. So there will be distractions, right? And I am a Christian. If you go to, I think, Matthew, 14, verse, if I'm not mistaken, verse, 29 to 30 something, you read a story about Peter and Jesus. When they were on the high seas, when Jesus left and started to walk on water, Peter looked and said, oh, Master, can I come? Jesus said, come. Peter started walking to Jesus and he was walking on water. But then he started to get worried about the wind and the wave. And what happened? He started to sink. In that interaction with Jesus, that is the story of a success. Keep him focused. So the distraction, the lies, they wouldn't distract me. I'm focused on how we can get the road to Harper, how we can do this. So coming to your stuff.
Yeah, and I want to be specific about this audit report. I mean, when I say it was it was an elephant in the room. The auditor general called me yesterday and said, "Oh, Father, I said because this is the big deal of the audit report." But let me say, I mean, this is what the GAC says as its observation. During the audit, we observed from our sample of payment vouchers that management facilitated payments amounting to 2,850,000 plus without evidence of adequate supporting documents such as payment receipts, quotations, contract expenditure, liquidation reports, delivery notes, completion certificates, etc., where applicable for various expenditures to validate the legitimacy of the transactions. Now, the GSC made a recommendation that management should fully account for expenditures made without adequate supporting documents comprehensively cataloged in Annexure 1 as part of management's response to this management letter. And this is a financial statement audit.
Okay, let me explain this to you now. Firstly, let me say this. Next week, Tuesday, the 16th of September, makes me 1 year in the Ministry of Finance. 1 year. This is 7 years of the regime. So, I think 14 days. We started 2024 with, I call him my predecessor, you know, good friend, Samuel Dotue, was Minister of Finance for a good part of January 2024. So, he was the first Minister of Finance for 2024. And then Boema Kamara took it up to July 2024, second. And there was an acting Minister of Finance, Anthony Myers. He had it from July up to the 16th when he turned over to me. So we're talking about 4 persons. 4 persons. Now, this is not to say that anything egregiously wrong happened. Let me say this. I was talking about explaining audit. So, audit, LBS 2025 report in maybe 2026 or 2027 or maybe 2028. What would they depend on? They will say that, the accountant or the report says that Vafle Kamara was giving maybe, let's say 2,000 for a workshop. Vafle Kamara for some workshop, broadcasters workshop. Okay. And so the auditors will come and say, okay, you said that, let's see the document. Then your controller will go wherever you can keep document, trying to find stuff, right? Now, when the GSC doesn't find all the document, that's what they said, a lack of adequate documentation.
Yeah.
They didn't say no documentation. So when the controller and others cannot give them all the documents or what they consider adequate, they will flag it. They will flag it. But that does not mean that Vafle Kamara did not receive the money. And when in my auditing course, auditors, my students, about what is called alternative procedure in evidence gathering. Now the auditors will come to the Ministry of Finance. We process everything. We keep documentations, but these ministries also have documentations. So we face an archiving problem. Some people don't like to hear it. Go and see the ministry. In fact, we are looking for new structures, to put more documents. All the documents processed in government. Now, of this more than $735 million worth of transactions, GSC identified 2.8 million transactions that they feel, were not supported by adequate documentation. Now, what do they mean? Most of these transactions, I just gave you one. A transaction that took place on the 9th of September. I came in. Most of the transactions took place in again. Let me say the first thing. Most.
I hope this is not an attempt to shift blame.
No, not shifting blame.
Okay.
I'm just explaining this. It's not to say anybody did anything wrong. That's why you have, audit findings, then you have investigative finding, forensic investigation. The auditor did not say there was any fraud. The auditor did not say there was any misappropriation. In fact, had there been fraud, we wouldn't have gotten a qualified report. Let me give you this. In auditing, there are 4 types of report. The first, which is the excellent report, is called unqualified report. The second is qualified, meaning it's good, but it's not perfect.
Okay.
Then the worst report, the bad report is called average. And the worst report is called a disclaimer. In 2023, the Auditor General
of the last administration.
Well, I'm saying in 2023, the Auditor General opinion was adverse.
Which was worse?
Worse.
Okay.
This adverse, I know you know definitions. Adverse. Last year, it was qualified, meaning it was good in all material respects except for, in auditing, we call qualified report and excepted. These transactions that they say, the documentations were not adequate. Maybe we think you didn't get a Ministry of Finance. Check. Most of these transactions in 2024. I was not even out of the ministry. The government paid two payments were made to the Ministry of Education. And I would just read the purpose of the payment. Payment to MOE to cover local scholarship arrears to various universities for second semester of 2022-2023. We're talking about dealing with the past. And for 2023 to 2024, arrears not paid. Now, government paid the total of $423,482. So in that 2.8, this transaction is there as one of the transactions that were not supported by adequate documentation. Many of the entities involved are there. So in auditing, we usually say, you know what, if for archiving problem of, here is it. The auditors will do their work, sometimes in 5 days, they say, bring all the documentation for this. And people get challenged. But in alternative procedure, you could find these particular things, these documents, at the ministries, at the entities. And that's why it's going. The auditors say it should be accounted for. These entities are reporting. It is not a Minister of Finance that sits. In fact, the Minister of Finance signature is on check. You go there, the signature is on check. You don't get into check issuers. No minister does get into those little details. But let me say this. Look, I gave you this example to try to be a layman on this. Barclay, assuming you have your son in a high school, I must gonna zillion in a way, Noah's Ark. You pay your son's school fee, right? For the semester, last semester. And you tell your son they should give you receipt. Your son went, paid the school fees, and for some reason, he misplaced the receipt or he couldn't find it. Receipt. He put it somewhere. And then, but at the end of the semester, your son was included in the graduating class. And you at PTA, and you attended the closing program. Now, you are an accountant like myself and others. You tell your son, I'm trying to account for all my finances. Where is the receipt for the past semester? Your son scramble all to find receipt. And why finding the receipt? Or when if he cannot even one minute, yes, the primary evidence will be the receipt, but there are other ways to verify. When we talk about alternative procedure, nobody, you could go to the school to verify, but they wouldn't give clearance for your son's graduation if you didn't pay the receipt. So you're trying to find a receipt. So the absence of that does not mean your son did not go to school or your son ate your money. So that's how it is. So when you hear about not action without supporting documentation, that is it. And let me tell you the solution. Years back, when I was Minister of Finance, my first thing, I know this is a perpetual challenge in auditing. Perpetual challenge. Documentation archiving. So what we wanted to do was to modernize, computerize the entire process so that years and years later, no one will come and say, you can't find document. You see this? And some folks were able, to locate this from the ages. They've been in this contract. This is November 2011. You see it?
Yeah, 2011.
You see it?
This document is over what?
I was
solving the archival problem?
No, see it. Contract for modern. You read it. See the title. You read it. What they say, I'm reading.
No, I see.
Read the title.
I see Ministry of Finance, Republic of Liberia, contract for modernization of the archival system within the expenditure department of the Ministry of Finance between the Ministry of Finance and Professional Services Incorporated, November 11.
Go, send it on me. If you check, you will see that, show you evidence. There's a page, you will see my signature. My signature. It was signed by former Deputy Minister of Finance, Francis Kpehe, for administration at the time. And you guys know my signature, sometimes on dollar bill. There's it.
Yeah. No, I see that.
You see it?
I see all those who signed. All those things who signed include Francis T. Kpehe, Deputy Minister of Administration, Vani Fambule, the CEO of the contractor, and attested by Augustine Kpehe Ngafuan.
See that?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are, see, this is my signature. 2011. Why did we do this? Because of a particular problem. I don't want a situation where the reason why it happens is that it's not only the GAC that will ask for documents. These documents are in archive, you got the IAA, even experts, technicians are doing report the goal. So sometimes they don't put the documents back. So this was meant to solve the problem. And I thought the problem was solved. I come 14 years later. 14 years later, problem that I thought I solved.
So system was broken down.
System broken down. Let me tell you something. Some of the things I go through. It's like compare it to you build a 4-story building, right? And then you left. When you come back, you think you want to build. Your burden will be to build the 5th floor, 6th floor, and what have you. But in some respects, what we inherited is that in some respects, you're going to the ground floor, you're going to the foundation. So imagine we're starting this over again, something that was practically solved 2011. So what are we doing to solve this problem? We're expediting something called an electronic document management system. We're in advanced stage of this. And this problem of difficulty locating documents,
in essence, an implementation of the recommendation during the audit report.
That's why the auditors don't come to say you have stolen. They come and find system weaknesses that you need to work on. But in this environment of auditability, where people project negativity on people, when they see audit report, they conclude. And that is the reason why we are asking for more literacy on these matters. So that's what the auditor said. And so working on it. But These institutions are around. Some of the payment was done for county health teams, refugee or school system. They are all listed. They are all listed. So how come somebody can say Augustine Kpehe 2.8 million?
So there are two.
Are you a thief wanting your thief rate to be projected on me?
So there are
confess thief rate? Confess. And maybe we'll carry you to the church, and then there will be some penitence.
So there are two sources of getting documents here. If you don't get it from the Ministry of Finance, you can also get it from the spending entity.
Yes, there are a lot of ways to. In fact, there is that's why we are having strategic conversation. I call it doing audit in audible society. When times I don't blame the press. I made, or joking with Jahim, I made the front page of the front page twice last week, right? I have a picture. They will give me some royalties. But, when the audit reports, when they come out, journalists want to sell. In fact, some journalists came up, 78 million, they put me in so-called dollars, 78 million. But we will organize these things for people to understand. Okay. The other thing they said, maybe you haven't raised it, I need to clarify that, besides documentation issue. In fact, we started clarifying it. Payment without legislative approval in excess of budget is another 2.8. This other key was 2.8. Wow. That's the very thing we're saying. Of budget without legislative approval. Now, let's compare. Let's do some comparison here. This year's report, or last year's report, was qualified, meaning it was good, but there were one or two exceptions that the auditor said we should work on. Last year's report, meaning 2023, was average. The Auditor General said it was bad. This issue about documentation that identified in this year's report 2.8. In 2023, they identified $4.27 million. As, in fact, they said, I think they used a harsher word. They said lack of. They didn't say problem with adequate documentation. Lack of documentation. That's what they said. And then, so if you ascribe thievery to 2.8, are you saying, by extension of a logic, that the people that had it, they stole 4.27 billion in 2023, and some of them were moving around. No. So they say you have that problem in the extent of 4.27 billion. Let me give you another area of distinction. The payment, the total stuff, they say quote unquote over legislative approval, right? 2.8. Do you know what it was 2023? 96 million. I repeat, 96 million in 2023. They said 2.8. 2.8 here. It tells you the system improvement that has happened. So these audit reports are out there. The NSCC, take the audit report, because audit reports don't necessarily imply fraud. Now they will take a forensic eye and say, okay, let's investigate. Because for fraud, the definition of fraud is intent and action. Someone could have done this to steal from government, or it could just be errors, misstatement, documentation. It is a responsibility, and I'm asking the
NSCC. I was coming. Do you implore the NSCC?
I'm asking the NSCC to investigate. Whether it is this year or last year's stuff, 2.8, and in the previous year of 96, I'm asking the NSCC. This is a clarion call from the Minister of Finance, because they are empowered. The GAC does surface stuff. NSCC, please investigate this for this country. Please investigate this for this country. I beg the NSCC to investigate. So
for 2023 and 2024,
2023, NSCC investigate. Yeah.
Okay.
This thing will be put to rest.
Okay, Minister, quite interesting. Let me ask before we take calls. Let me ask about something. I mean, the owner of Spoon, Mr. Stanton Waterspoon. I've I've got report that he sent you a text calling you a bloody liar. Just apart from, spewing whatever on his platform. Is that true? Do you can I see?
It's true.
Can I
It is
see?
true. Oh,
Yeah, can I
I'm
see?
receiving calls. It's true.
Yeah,
Oh, but I'm receiving some calls here. It is true. You know, he sent me a text.
do you know him?
I don't know. I didn't know.
What have you done to him?
Well, I think I've done something to him. I think on that one, I will confess that I've done something to him. He sits on his talk show and spews out a spoonful of negativity. He creates a hellhole environment around the government, deals with the president. He finds people routinely the other time you are dealing with it. So I'm the new guy to deal with. He sees me as Minister of Finance and we're projecting, we're pushing. He knows that I'm rectilinearly focused on success. And so when you zoom on me, you think you break the number 5, then you break the government. So I've done something for him. He goes, his talk show is huge. It's becoming like a tabloid. Because I usually say, and I was telling Jahim and others, report. All I want is balance. Because we do not claim perfection. There are issues that we must work on in this government. And we must be, and you guys are fourth estate, you guys should hold our feet to the fire. But where someone refuses to see light, and every day, I don't know, I may be wrong. There was a groundbreaking ceremony at the last week for the start of the overpass bridge, the construction. I just checked whether that was highlighted or even discussed. Find all the positives here. The man goes and says that we're going backward, days or hell. I say that we're going forward. So I don't know him personally. So he hates that. He has gone 1 week saying that I lied about minimum wage. 150. He even have a video. He said I lied. I didn't call his name. I called you. You were at a press conference. I proved to you that I did not lie. If I did not lie, by inference, you can end it. You can end it. So it was immediately after that press conference when I proved that I explained it. He sent me the text.
You said it.
You sent me the text.
Did you do a screenshot of that?
Yeah. It's here. It'll take me some.
And also,
I will send it to you.
Yeah. I have to
and
see
then,
that.
And then calling me a bloody liar. You know, when I was hesitating to come, it was precisely for these moments. But I'm here. Call me what you want.
I mean,
but people know me and people know others. People know me. Some want to sit on a high seat of judgment in white robe and be the one to dole out integrity labels. You will say, okay, this man is clean, and the poor should believe it. Violet Tamara is dirty, and the poor should believe it. No progress. Don't like in Monrovia. And when people can see light. So go, when you continue like that, you make your show to lose relevance. Because your people, there are people who just listen to you. Give them what I call the eclectic panoramic picture. Because if you think that we are weak-kneed people here, that you will sit in one corner and say you'll spew negativity and you'll break the government down, you are completely mistaken. We know, let me say this, I will tell you this. You say you propagandist? When you started this thing, we can wear multiple caps. This government has men, and you will, if it is your duty to go and every day spew negativity, your diet, you feed your people.
I watched a video where he said he doesn't like you.
Yeah, he said, imagine. There's a man, he's doing a quote unquote.
I continue to ask, what have you done to him?
I told you what I've done. If you said there's nothing is working, I say it's working. I've done something to somebody who cannot stand truth. You're talking about, what have I done? Nothing. I don't know him from anywhere. He sends me a text. He's taking leper test. I just want to know the freedom of information thing you guys talk about. Does it extend to sending somebody text and holding invectives, using crude and crass language? Does it extend to that? But I will forgive it. Send me whatever text. I will forgive.
Yeah, but if you don't want to see a text, you can block him.
No. Let him send me. Let him send me. Doesn't move me. And when I'm writing my autobiography, this thing will make it richer. It will make it richer. Yeah, those are chapters that people want to read. You see, you'll be featured. And one thing I offer him, you'll be featured. Yeah.
Okay, let's take calls. Honestly, I didn't want to say that because I don't use my platform to elevate another person. I just thought, I was curious because it's almost personal.
No, it's true. It's true.
That it happens almost every day. Anyway, call us on 0770581886, 0775677376. The Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Augustine Kpehe Ngafuan, is here as our guest. Let's hear from this person here. Good morning.
Good morning, Badri, and good morning to Minister Augustine Kpehe. Badri, this is Maurice Moses Mongai, and I call you from West Mogoka. I am the national chairman for the Bata State Kitchen.
Maurice, you have 30 seconds, please.
Thank you. Minister of Finance may appreciate it for the good work, but I see two things here. There are concerted efforts for the opposition to challenge the repetition so as they believe that it will lead for our M2 contact, our upcoming institute. That comment to repetition, that will damage the but we know you to be an impact of a character. Anyone knows in this concept, we have followed you. You are not a thief. People who follow you thief today, they are own record, they are thieves. We know. Look at what did that deliver? 96 million equivalent to the city and 2.8 million. That is our first book.
Okay, thank you very much, Maurice. Let's hear from this person here. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, buddy.
Let's hear you quickly.
Let me say good morning to the first family minister here for the past 20 years. The father minister, my name is Michael Apun from Barasio. I never ever listened to a father minister this or quiet bread this morning. Let me, you are so energized this morning, like to the point, and let me encourage you. Don't listen to this minister, this Pastor Boy, that's still all that show the something very great. You are doing extremely well for this country.
Okay.
Yeah, let me talk about it.
My man, but no, I will give you 5.
Okay, fine. I'll make you the 5. I'll make you the 5 seconds. So at this time of the beauty for people living here from 280 to Maryland, there's so much things. Let me have this country. That country will be
okay.
Thank you, Fabi.
Thank you. Let's hear from this person here. Good morning.
Good morning, Fabi. I'm going to the Minister.
Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Minister, it is true that you want to quarter through to the now, and you want to use the now through of the Minister of Finance or political office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from this person here. Morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Minister.
Your name, please. Go ahead.
Minister, thank you very much for the explanation, for making it clear to the public. Minister, we believe something where you know that this is the best minister, but we United Party for the United Party. Senator is the best so-called the best role.
Oh, sorry, we don't do that here. Good morning. Good morning. Rena, let's hear you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. Let me say good morning to the honorable ministers. Good morning to the people of Europe.
Go ahead, Maggie Rena.
Thank you. I activate Maggie Rena, and I do join like this morning from Luja office in West Point. I'm very nice for justice and accountability. Let me commend Ngafuan for his well-planned deliberations on our country economic factors. However, I have been one person that shared to Liberian people it is not necessary to hear out what the final minister has to say in this way and set it off. Not forget the global minister, let me bring this to a certain attention. With all of what you have said, and several have not taken say, I believe by now, as the final minister, can you please explain to the public what up to now, several have not taken say?
But today's the 8th, McLean. Oh, okay. Okay. The minister will respond to that. Good morning. Morning. Your name, please.
My name is Italy, and I'm calling you from Kabul country.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Thank you so much, Minister. We don't want you people to be keep track of what you're doing. You're doing your good work. It will cost a lot of things, but we want people to really see.
Okay.
So fight for.
Oh, sorry. Let's hear from this person here. Morning.
Good morning. This is Water El Fadro Bani Show from Nima Kante.
Yeah, let's hear you from Nimba.
Let me say thank to the minister. Thank very much for the information you provide. We are really happy with the information you provide. You are one of the best ministers I ever seen before. The working relationship between you and the deputy minister, the also and all of ministers in Nigeria, the way they're working together to see how best Nigeria to move forward and Nigeria you get it on the map. Now we know what we want. We will not sit there for nobody to spoil it. Carry on. That's why you say the president of the university, she are not there about the railway, or maybe people around not get the right information. She are proceeding the wrong way. I know that they call you for the university of Liberia, you want to see the best come from the university of Liberia. Once the minister wants to say thank you for the good work, don't respond to Spoon. Spoon can talk all the Tabata, wheresoever will not listen to it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, family. This is Melton Yoko. I come from here, the King represents around SKD.
Yoko, go ahead.
Let me say thank you to the minister this morning. I appreciate the minister's explanation. I've also learned some things from him. But I got two concerns quickly. The minister can tell us that the national thing is off budget. I want the minister next time, maybe they can recommend that to be part of budget instead of it being off budget. The next one is that the minister explains a lot of good things that is happening. We can see some, but some are not very visible. For example, schools are not yet open because parents cannot afford to pay their children's school fee. So what is the government doing about school fees reduction?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Oh, sorry. Good morning. Hello. Your name.
My name is Leo.
Let's hear you, Leo.
Let me appreciate the former minister for his generation. He's collectively. Let me thank you for the expression of transition, some of them won't be. And lastly, I don't want to give credit to the system. That man is all that thing, that's even America. I would give you a session there. The man said that really has to do a lot. So don't get credit on the focus on another word. If you want to put it forward, that's our prayer. So don't focus on that. We don't need to put that on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's hear from this person here. 0775677376. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, let's hear you.
I did a few more Sakama and I got from Seco this morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there are a few things on my mind I want to ask the minister. The first thing is, what is this government doing about the own doing of the hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what is the government doing about the harmonization that was done by previous government, which the government and when they were in opposition and all? Yeah, actually.
Okay. What's the government doing about the harmonization? Maybe they didn't listen. The minister said they're taking it step by step in every sector. Let's hear from this person. Danishas Mate, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, family, and good morning to the minister. Let me say thank you for the declaration, and I like the energy that it brings always to the discourse. And I just want to zero in on the sport issue. So you said that the government approved 400,000. The Ministry of Youth and Sport did say it was 348,000. The Football Association has not been able to reveal the budget. In an age of transparency and accountability, and I will take you back to Ghana, where the government has now started to publish football budget. Can we see what the government approved that came from the Ministry of Youth and Sport? I made an FOI request to the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the LFA, and they've been turning me into a cycle. And I've also sent a request to the Ministry of Finance so that we see what the government approved and what the Football Association did of it. How do we know the variance? Because you said 400,000, the NYS said 348,000.
Okay, thank you. I will take one more call and go back to the minister because the concerns are many. To give him ample time to respond to some of the concerns here, very genuine ones. Good morning. Good morning.
This is Stephen and I do call you from GAC.
Yeah, let's hear you, Mr. Wisa.
Now, let me say thank you to the minister. I know.
Oh, Wisa, you coming in very broken. You said? Well, sorry, we can continue with you. Let's take the last caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor.
Yes, your name?
How are you this morning?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so my concern this morning has to do with, I'm asking the minister directly. There are some of our brothers and sisters who have been teaching at the university for over 5 years and stay on a joint payment system. When is the minister trying to at least stop them to regularize their status? These people are qualified and they have sacrificed for this country. Let the minister who has been there as a student understand the constraint of these people and see how they can regularize them. So that's my question.
Okay. Thank you so much. Minister, you can respond to the concerns, and in responding you can also include this. Samuel Toye won you in a poll, conducted also on the same phone. Also, you host these political meetings. You have a cartel, at the ministry. You can just respond to all of these concerns.
Well, people who know me will know that when you work with me, actually, something will happen to you. You will lose yourself in a way because you work for the government. I work long hours. Those that were at the ministry before, this time, they know that I work long hours. Was that in 2008, even when I was at the budget bureau, was I having political meeting when I was working long hours working for my country? And when I went to foreign ministry, I was minister. I work long hours. Come and see. Like I'm here. I will go to other meetings during the day. Many folks that want to see me, ministers, come in the night and see ministers. Serious meetings will go long hours. Come and see. The last time, if I will show you a picture, when we drew the budget, I was leaving the ministry by 2 a.m. Come and see experts working. I am not one leader who sits on the 9th floor and armchair general and send people to battle. I join them. I work with them. I teach. I take the computer. That's what I do. I'm a technician and I'm a minister at the same time. So I want to, it's part of the distraction. Let them distract. But I'm focused. Now, the initials. Thank you for your support to the sporting sector. I follow you over the years, and I'm a soccer enthusiast. I also play soccer. Those that doubt, come on Barnesville. You see whether you doubt me again. But I said that 400,000 was 400,000 of budget. And you may be right that it was being 348,000 that it actually at the end of the day received. So when I leave from here, we get the actual figure, and it's going to be public. We're not going to hide it. Someone talked about some of the issues that came from the education sector, talking about reduction in fees. Well, we propagated. I know the Minister of Education, school fees. You don't control the private school, but maybe there are things they are thinking of. I know that we have 100 schools to be constructed beginning, if I'm not mistaken, this month. 100 schools for foundational learning across the country. I and the Minister of Education signed the agreement. So we'll soon start. So the Education Minister could come and give you more information on that. Now, on Mr. Cole, he resigned on the 14th of July, and it took effect, I think, by the middle of August. We now had NNPA. August had not ended, so he could not have resigned because he was in Mandela protesting delay in pay in August. We started paying in August by the 20th. There may be one or two banks where there may be residual issue. The Controller General tells me, and I take his word, that by Friday, almost everybody was paid. If there's anyone who hasn't been paid, let us know that. So it will not be because we did not do our part of the bargain. Now, I like how we have made people to get used to success. That if we delay by 2 days, when before people were delaying by 1 month, and then everybody will be jumping. I like this. Hold us to account. You are holding us by our high standards. We will do more. We are working on glitches. We are working on the systems in the place. We are transitioning to a new payment platform. And I told you about the payment switch that the central bank is leading. What that is going to do is going to digitize the entire economy. It's going to help even our payment system. I think by the end of this month, people, Moon Star and Orange, they don't speak. If you have mobile money on Moon Star, you cannot transact.
Yeah.
But the central bank has led an effort. The central bank governor assures me that by the end of the month, you will start to see that. It's going to help. We're working with the central bank in a lot of ways, coordinating. You see rate reduction happening. The central bank, with our support, took some things on the monetary, the rate, in April. And recently, I was at a meeting where the MPR, the monetary policy rate, was maintained. Those are hard macroeconomic decisions. The effect now is taking place thanks to the central bank governor and the team. And this fiscal arm we are supporting. Now, coming to the polls. Look, the last time I came here and told you that, Minister Samuel Doto and I have come a long way. There are multiple links, multiple friends, and what have you. I was one year ahead, they were behind. And people during our days to talk about some of the things that happened. One of it, he wanted to be president. I was president also. He wanted to succeed me. That didn't happen. And that we in the Vanguard Student Education Party ensured the defeat of the opposition. He was a standard bearer. And I know that it didn't come with laughter. And today, if through Mr. Witherspoon, where he's
did you expect to win that kind of?
No, I didn't expect him to win. No, let me say that where the man is doing the poll, he's the election commissioner. He's saying that on the poll, he's saying that I don't like Ngafuan. I'm one of the candidates. Think about. So
that was before you're saying Hazu.
No. I like no. Let me tell you this on Baffling. I congratulate my friend for the victory on Spoon. on Spoon, First Minister of Finance. Congratulations, D12, for the victory on Spoon. So, I mean,
you want me to conduct a pool right now?
I'm not fixated on pools. Let's focus on work.
Okay.
Because whatever people can do on pools, when we do, the people in their hearts, what they see and what they feel, it's more important. I want to make sure that the lives of people are changing. You talk about harmonization. We deal with it, but we're looking at the fiscal envelope. You see us working here and there, and the Commissioner General, the NRA, and the team, they're doing a good job. This year, people expected doom. Go to February and hear what people were saying. That we have kept steady, is a source of joy that we are still moving in spite of the turbulence. So as we expand the economy, we will look at various sectors and we will be taking positive actions in terms of remuneration. I told you that the situation of the judiciary has changed. Where they were, it may not be everyone in the judiciary, but the people, the judges, the magistrates, and the people on the bench, when I ask them, look, members of the press, go and do some surveys. You will come up with information. So by and large, the president is concerned. That's why every day he's taking actions to change the country positively. We met on Friday in a cabinet meeting, and the president said, do your work, don't mind insults, because it comes with the territory. We are doing our work. I can assure the Liberian people, I came to work for the Liberian people. I always say, and I say it today again, election year is a year that politicians win. But what happens in the middle? People talk 2023, people talking 2029, people be talking 2025, talk 2035. The people need to win every year.
Okay.
And that's what I am going to dedicate all the fibers of my being to achieving. That's why, in spite of all the negativity that I knew would come, that's why I came. Because working with colleagues, under the guidance of the president, we will take this country from where we met it. We will take the country. It will not be in heaven, but it will be materially different from where we met it. That's the assurance I can give.
Just before we leave you, Minister, 2029, are you considering contesting as president?
Listen, let me say this. You see me? My faith is largely in the hands of God. Why will people? One of the reasons why people wouldn't understand, if this man was so fixated on personal ambition, why would I have jumped to take a position from the side? Think about it. Yeah, you go around. Oh, look, I'm a man that works and will succeed. Where my success carry me? Who gets afraid? I don't have control over that.
Okay.
Because for me, what is important, and I will tell you something. You know I'm a poet, right? I'm a poet.
And they say poets know better than journalists.
Well, no, I will tell you something. Because I've been saying this. I will show you the poem I wrote. This was July 2023. As the country was going to election. I will show it to you. I will say it to you. Now, the poem is titled, Would You Make Them Winners Too? I was saying that by October, the people will go to the polls. Or you'll go to the polls. They will stand in long line. They will vote for politicians. After that, will the people win?
Okay.
It's me. I am here dedicated to fulfilling ambition of the people. The people need to win. When we extend electricity, the people win. When the people can move from Robert G as my assistant minister there. The people have won. When we expand water supply, for me, that is more important to me, and that's why I came. I will work with all others, and we will have to make the people to win. So whatever that does to my life, God is in control. But my fixation is making sure that the library. I was in Uganda. I was helping to bring smiles to the people of Uganda. You think I came here not to do it for my country? You think they think that's why I came? All the successes we score out there, we can do it here. And that's the passion that boils in my belly. And I will not rest. Thank you.
Well, what a way to end there. He's Augustine Kpehe Ngafuan, Minister of Finance. Many thanks to all of our media colleagues. We cannot name all of them because we'll miss one or two of them. My name is Vafle Kamara. Join the team tomorrow for another presentation of the Super Morning Show. Bye-bye.
Let me say, please, we're working all right.